Hello, Philosophy 122 class. It is week 8, and we have some lessons for you about argument moves in ethics. And we hope these lessons will help you with your next paper, which is Ethical Analysis 2. For this lesson, I have 2 sample paragraphs for you. One is about setting the stage, a setting the stage paragraph, meaning you're not making an argument yet, but you're getting ready. My second sample paragraph is a duties argument in the manner of Ross. First, consider what the key prima facie duties are, and then argue for what you think is the actual duty. Before I get to that, I want you to get out your article. I went on a date with Aziz Ansari. It turned into the worst night of my life. So you might pause the video if you need to. Find this article. And the spot I will focus on in my sample paragraphs, I think in your paper copy, begins at the bottom of page 2. And in this copy here, it's this paragraph here. So for 30 minutes of me getting up and moving and him following and sticking his fingers down my throat again. So bottom of page 2, top of page 3, that's the spot that my sample paragraph are going to be about. Okay? All right, so let's go back. And now I'm going to show you my sample paragraphs. All right, so remember, my first sample paragraph is just setting the stage. It's not making an argument yet, but it's getting ready. It's establishing focus. Here we go. A key aspect of the encounter is that Ansari repeatedly engaged in more sexual acts after Grace moved away from him. This happened later in their encounter, after the first 10 minutes and after Grace said, "Let's relax a sec," and they were on the couch. In this part of the story, Grace keeps moving away from Ansari, but then he follows. Technically, she consented. He didn't physically force her, but he seemed to be ignoring her nonverbal cues. So here I lead into a quote, and this is how you format a long quote. Here's my quote. He wouldn't let her move away from him. She compared the path they cut across the argument to a football play. Quote, "It was 30 minutes of me getting up and moving and him following and sticking his fingers down my throat again. It was really repetitive. It felt like a fucking game." Throughout the course of her short time in the apartment, she says she used verbal and nonverbal cues to indicate how uncomfortable and distressed she was. Quote, "Most of my discomfort was expressed in me pulling away and mumbling. I know that my hands stopped moving at some points," she said. "I stopped moving my lips and turned cold." So the act in question is Ansari engaging in another sexual act after Grace gave nonverbal cues such as getting up and moving or freezing up. Was it morally wrong for Ansari to do this? So right here, I have ended my setting the stage paragraph. So think about the setting the stage paragraph is one of your tools for writing an ethical argument. I don't say my opinion in this paragraph, really. I'm just telling you what I'm focusing on. Okay, now we get to the prima facie duties and actual duties paragraph. And I'm going to do a page break so it's all in one page. All right, here we go. Considering Ansari's prima facie and actual duties, it was wrong for him to perform another sexual act after Grace's nonverbal cues. So notice this first sentence is what you call a topic sentence in an English class. This is my claim. I begin the paragraph by making my claim, and then I'm going to back it up. To begin, what are Ansari's prima facie duties in this moment? Grace is pulling away and going cold. What might Ansari's duties be? He might have a duty to ask her what she wants to do. He might have a duty to, I'm fixing my typos, listen to her nonverbal cues and stop coming after her sexually. He has an actual duty not to physically force her, but it seems he is honoring that duty already because she consented, technically. If he is unsure of her desires or is not getting her nonverbal cues, does he have a duty to ask her what she wants? Or does he only have a duty not to be physically coercive? So notice up to this point right here that I'm considering Ansari's prima facie duties. I haven't gotten to my actual duty argument yet, but here I go. Now I get to it. My argument is that his actual duty is to stop what he is doing based on her nonverbal cues. Assuming Grace's account is accurate, she repeatedly gave him nonverbal cues over a 30-minute period. Based on these cues, Ansari's duty is to stop. If for some reason he didn't pick up on her cues, which is hard to imagine, then he has an actual duty to ask her what she wants to do. Therefore, Ansari's actions during this 30-minute period were clearly wrong. He failed in his duty to honor her nonverbal cues, and he failed in his duty to ask her what she wanted if he didn't understand her nonverbal behavior. So notice that the argument for what his actual duty is starts here, and I make my argument. And then I sum it all up in this last sentence. It's like a conclusion sentence where I sum up the argument I just made in the whole paragraph. Okay, so that is your sample paragraph. In Canvas, you will see that I have posted this as a Word document in addition to this video. So if you want to read it again, you can. Setting the stage paragraph and a sample duties argument. I hope that this helps you to understand how you can use these argument moves. Thanks.